those of you wondering how I did on my professional engineering license exam yesterday, well, the results aren't back yet, but I'm happy to say that I would be shocked if I passed, because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that test was very hard. But not as hard as I was watching this Miami Heat game as we walk away with a double-digit win versus 76ers, and I'm thrilled because I hate that city, I hate that team, I hate Kyle Lowry, who I forgot was even on that team until after the game when he came over to our bench and was dapping everyone up. And it's like, if Kyle Lowry could dap up this Heat team, then why can't you, Jimmy Butler? Stop running from the grind, Jimmy. I'm tired of it. But what a very fun win from your Miami Heat where everybody balled out. You got my guy Keyshawn Johnson following up his first career double-double last game with a game today where he was showing effort all over the place, had putback dunks all over you. You had Davion Mitchell flirting with a triple-double. You had Khalil Ware flirting with a Barbara Walters. That's a 2020 game for those of y'all that don't remember my guy Whiteside. But you had Pelle Larsson with the best 2 of 13 game you've ever seen in your life, drawing charges left and right. I really wish that FanDuel, the sponsor of today's video, added a line for charges, because I would take that every single time on Pelle Larsson. He's always getting hit in the face, thrown to the floor. He is Heat culture personified, and it just really gets me excited. But what I did do on FanDuel today, though, is that they have alternates where you can take guys for a reduced line, with less odds. So basically what I did is I took pretty much every single Heat rotation player for either 5 to 10 points. And when you stack those up, you end up getting pretty good odds. So I definitely cast on that today, because with this Heat team, one of the things that's most impressive is everybody eats. Of course, the main guys will still eat. Kamehameha kiss. My God, that man was hooping today. I haven't got to say it in a minute, but I got the foot fetish for the footwork of Kamehameha Kiss Jr. He needed to give those boys on Philly a map because they didn't know where he was going. But of course, he was eating. You had Norman Powell with a light little 30 ball. Came today probable because he had the little groin strain last game. So is Norman going to be okay today? He said last game that he was fine. It's just a pain tolerance thing. And he said, fortunately for him, he has a pretty high pain tolerance. Well, I think that's a bit of an understatement, because to drop 30 points and not even sweat, man, that guy is good. That guy is good. Then, of course, defensively, everything that he did today, from Bam and Davion Mitchell down to Drew Smith and everyone down on the bench, just an overall awesome performance for your Miami Heat. Let's get into my notes a little bit here, where I do want to give Philly some credits for the jerseys in that court, because that retro style that they've been doing this season is absolutely beautiful. I did feel like the black paint along with the deep black jerseys kind of blended in a little bit at times. But as you watch the game, your eyes adjust. But overall, it's just a beautiful design and style. Like, I'm sitting here as a Dolphins fan wishing they would go back to their retro jerseys full time. Low-key, Philly should consider that too, because those are just beautiful. But obviously, coming into this game, both teams, I think, had about the same record, right? Both teams had about 6 losses or so. So I couldn't really call it either way. Of course, both teams also dealing with injuries. The 76ers had no Joel Embiid today. Is that even worth mentioning? That guy doesn't play basketball anymore. But also, they didn't have VJ Edgecombe, a guy who, of course, I'm a fan of, because he low-key looks like a little D-Wade disciple at times, at least through quarter way through his rookie season. Obviously, he's off to a pretty strong start. So they didn't have them. On the Miami Heat side of things, still no Wiggins, still no Jovic. Tyler Hero is out for probably the last game, as all signs point to him actually suiting up tomorrow versus Dallas, which I'm very, very excited about. For the sake of everybody's Twitter timeline who may follow Royal A. Shepherd, I hope Tyler balls out, because if not, he's going to have a fun time tomorrow, man, because, he's been pretty adamant on Twitter about how he thinks Hero might mess all this up, and I have, I'm not going to say I have concerns, because I do think Hero will help this offense. We even saw times today where I think they had like a 3.5-minute stretch in the second quarter where they couldn't score. Hero will certainly help that. But at the same time, it's like, we have the best offense in the NBA, literally, like numbers-wise, eye test-wise. We're leading the league in points per game. Even today, dropping 120-plus points like it's nothing. And I find it hard to believe that Tyler Hero will make that even higher. You know what I mean? It's almost like you hope you can insert him and just not mess it up. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. But obviously, on the Philly side of things, you still had Tyrese Maxey, a guy who absolutely terrifies me. He's killed the Heat many times in the past, and of course, he's having a great season as well. I think it was his last game. He just dropped 54 on the Bucks. But I was hoping that because we have the great perimeter defense of Davion Mitchell and Drew Smith, I call it 48 minutes of hell for the opposing team. I was hoping we can contain them a little bit. And for the most part, they did. Even from the very first play, Andre Drummond had set a screen on Davion. Davion did what he always does and tries to fight through the screen because he was just glued to Tyrese Maxey. And that caused Andre Drummond to swivel his hip out. They called an offensive foul on him first play of the game. A couple plays later, Pelle Larsson drew his first charge of the game. That's now 17 games in a row with a charge for Pelle Larsson. And yes, I am absolutely making that stat up, but it sounds correct, right? I mean, because like we said earlier, every game this dude. Oh, how can you not love just a guy putting his body on the line time and time again? It's just very impressive stuff for Pelle Larsson. And then he actually ended up getting another charge later in the game as well. So Shane Battier, UD, even Kyle Lowry, he's coming for your records. I don't know who leads the Heat franchise history in charges, but those are the three guys I think of, UD, Lowry, and Battier. So Pelle Larsson is certainly climbing up that list very quickly. He had another great defensive play earlier too, where he stripped Tyrese Maxey, trying to post him up in isolation. I can remember multiple times now where Pelle has got a steal against a superstar in isolation. Did it earlier this year when Kawhi Leonard was trying to attack him too. So just very impressive stuff defensively from Pelle Larsson. And I want to make that a note because people will look at the box score today and efficiency-wise, it wasn't great for him. We'll get into that. But defensively, he's a game changer at times, and that cannot be lost. Khalil Ware had an awesome first quarter as he was awesome all day. Finished with 8 points, 8 rebounds in the first quarter alone. 6 of those boards was offensive, and a lot of those offensive boards was off his own misses because he didn't have the best touch around the rim today. So a lot of times he'd miss his own shot and get the rebound, but still, that shows effort. It would be easy for him to give up after missing. There was even a play in the first quarter. Andre Drummond blocked him, but Ware stayed with it. He got his own rebound and hit like a beautiful drop step through Andre Drummond, all out of sorts, and he was able to finish with a nice layup. So Ware was awesome today. He continued to be awesome after the hot start. And then Norman Powell also got out the gates very hot, which was glad to see. So you could tell, okay, he was feeling a little bit better after that groin strain last game. The Heat would be up 10 points after the first quarter. Then going into the second quarter, now that it's Jaime's time to cook after coming off the bench, he really was scoring from everywhere, particularly in the mid-range. He was in his fadeaway bag. It sounds crazy to say because it's going to sound like I'm comparing him to, Wade and Jordan and Kobe, but he's got that mid-range fadeaway shot. And that's the shot that all the greats have, that little mid-range post fadeaway, because you can get to that at any time. Even LeBron, we've seen him do that countless times for game winners or late games, clutch situations, and Jaime is so good at that, and he knows how to use his body as well to back down the defender. So he was awesome to really get going earlier. The Heat would end up going cold in that second quarter. It would be a 16-0 run from Philly, which would allow them to tie the game. But then who else but Davion Mitchell hit a three to kind of end that drought. And he continues giving the Heat these relief baskets, something we've talked about. I even heard Brady Hawk on 5 Reasons say the same thing. So we're noticing it. It just seems like Davion is always the guy who says, okay, our offense is getting bogged down a little bit. Let me get us a couple buckets here just to stop any bleeding, that the other team is causing. And I think that's important because Davion knows he's looked at as a defensive guy here, but when you need him to score, he can score, and he continued doing that today. The Heat would only be up, though, 4 after the second quarter. Then in the third quarter, they went on a 9-0 run. And for the most part, never really looked back. I mean, I know the game wasn't certainly out of reach. It was even a 1-possession game at points in the fourth quarter, I think. But the way the Heat were playing today, I never felt like it was in doubt. It's just anytime the game got close, they said, okay, here's Jaime Hawkins, let me get you a bucket. Here's Norman Powell getting fouled on a 3 for the third time, this game. They actually said on the broadcast that he is now second in the league in fouls drawn on 3-pointers behind James Harden, who's like one of the greatest of all time at drawing fouls on a 3-point shot. It's funny because Harden is obviously, he's playing well right now. Just dropped 55 points the other night. And thank God, too, because I'm sure y'all are aware the Clippers have a terrible record at the moment. But are y'all aware who has the Clippers' first-round pick this upcoming draft? If you're not, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. So as much as I don't like the Clippers, I don't think I like anyone on that team except like Derrick Jones Jr., maybe. I mean, Zubac is cool. I wish the Heat had Zubac. If the Clippers decide to sell, give me Zubac. That's disrespectful to say. The Khalil Ware is over here doing his thing, and I'm talking about Zubac. Man, screw Zubac, man. Anyways, yeah, we should all want the Clippers to win, because if they end up with a top 3 pick in the draft, well, then that goes to OKC, which is just terrifying to think about. But also, too, like, people are like, oh, James Harden is back. And it's like, we do this every year. We all think that he sucks because he does suck in the playoffs, which is obviously the end of the season. So at the end of every season, we always got this sour taste in our mouth about James Harden because, oh, he's washed. And then he'll start the next regular season good. But that's because he's a good regular season player. You know, it's the same cycle. Come April, you'll see James Harden back. You'll see old tour dates, James Harden shooting 2 of 15 again. Trust me, you'll see it. That's why I don't know, not to go on this random Harden rant, but after his 55 points the other night, the debate as old as ever came back to Twitter, which is, oh, is James Harden better than Dwayne Wade? No, he's not better than Dwayne Wade, okay? Wait till the postseason. That's all I got to say. It's a dumb argument to keep having. But anyways, at the end of the third quarter, the Heat would be up 6. And while both teams traded buckets in the second half, like I said, I don't ever, or in the fourth quarter, I don't ever feel like Philly was in it. You got a lot of great baskets from Jaime late in that fourth quarter, and Fontecchio hit a couple, and Drew Smith just to kind of, and Bam also, but just to really kind of shut the door on any sort of comeback there. So let's run through the box score real quick here, where Pelle Larsson, yes, he did shoot 2 of 13, 0 of 6 from 3. But he finished with 6 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal. So, you know, same thing we've been saying about Jaime. Even when you're not scoring, if you can do other things, that's the sign of a great player. And we knew Pelle could do this. Since Summer League, what did I always tell y'all? I said Pelle is really good at a little bit of everything with the potential to be great. And this season, we're starting to see him be great at some of those things. Like the shooting. It wasn't great today, but the three-point shooting overall, he has taken a leap this season in terms of his percentage. The lobs into Pelle, from Pelle to Khalil Ware in transition. The hit-ahead passes, a la Kevin Love, the great outlet passes. You're seeing him do these things at a pretty high rate this year. So I just want to really shout out Pelle because, again, people are going to look at the box score, but he was awesome today. He really was. I mean, he was a +9, in a game the Heat won by 10. So that shows impact right there. Bam Adebayo today, 50% from the field, 18 and 13 with great defense throughout. I thought he was very solid today. And then Khalil Ware. He almost had the Barbara Walters. I wanted to bring that back. Haven't had that since Whiteside, but 20 points and 16 rebounds. So 4 shorts of the Barbara Walters, but 7 to 13 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. He was sensational today. Like crashing the glass with reckless abandon. The whole bench gets so hyped when he does that. And then you see him start to feel himself and get hyped, and he'll start mean mugging, and nothing makes me happier. I was a little iffy on how he would do coming into the game, because although the 76ers, they had no Embiid, I think Adam Bona was also out, but they had Drummond. And to Drummond's credit, he's actually having a nice season. He's even shooting the 3-ball a little bit. He even hit one today also. But he's been rebounding at an insane rate, as he always does. And I was wondering how Ware was going to combat that and combat the size that Drummond brings, because Drummond's a big body. And although Drummond did ball the hell out with 23 rebounds, Jesus, and 14 points, obviously Khalil Ware was very impactful himself. Because even Drummond was a -2. And do I have this correct? Once again, Khalil Ware led the team in plus-minus with a 26. And the second highest plus-minus is 12. Standing ovation for Khalil Ware, guys. We did it once before. We're going to do it one more time. Standing ovation for Khalil Ware. Because as we said at the beginning of the season a lot, he was so bad in terms of plus-minus on the team. He was the worst by far. And now we've seen a couple times already where he leads the team by far in plus-minus. Just literally a complete 180 in terms of impact there. And as Spoelstra keeps saying, he's stacking up these great days. And plus 26 in a game that you won by 10 is insane. So shout out to Khalil Ware. Wow. And then you got Norman Powell today, 32 points, 11 to 18 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3. All-star him. That's all I got to say. And then Davion Mitchell today, 8 points, 8 rebounds, so close to the triple-double, but 12 assists, 1 turnover. And let's check out Drew Smith. 1 assist to 2 turnovers for Drew Smith. So between both your point guards, that's 13 assists to 3 turnovers. Clap it up for your point guards and the assist-to-turnover ratio, man. Clap it up for them. I love the fact we get to do that every video now. those are going to be my 2 recurring bits. The assist to turnover ratio, standing ovation. I know I gave a standing ovation to Ware, but I don't want to disrespect him like that. Every game he has a good game, standing ovation. Nah, like it's just the plus minus today is, is worthy of a standing ovation in my opinion. But we're going to clap it up for Davion and Drew's assist to turnover ratio. And every game that Pelle Larsson has a charge, we got to do something for that as well, because that excites me, man. Nothing better than a good charge other than Kamehameha Kiss off the bench with 22 points and 7 assists, 10 of 12 from the field. My goodness, 83% for Jaime. Nice to see him bounce back. Not necessarily bounce back. He's been playing well, but have a very efficient scoring game for him. Fontecchio today got just 6 points. He's had a rough few games in a row in terms of his efficiency, but you love his energy, along with Keyshawn Johnson. I think I had a couple of dunks today. I see he finished with 4 points, including that one putback. And then Drew Smith today, 9 points, 4-7 from the field, 1-2 from 3. Did hit a pretty big 3 late in the game when it was just a 1 possession game. So yeah, pretty much how many guys they played today? Significant minutes. You played 9, so 9 deep today, and I think everybody played very, very well. And I'm definitely excited to see what happens tomorrow when the Heat take on the Dallas Mavericks. But that's all I got to say for this video. So make sure y'all subscribe so you don't miss what I have coming up tomorrow. And also shout out to FanDuel one more time, where right now we can see the updated odds for the Heat to win their division in the NBA Cup. Last couple of videos, we couldn't look at that number because the games just ended. They have to update the odds. But they still have the Heat at plus odds to win their group. The Knicks are the leaders at minus 135, but the Heat are in second at plus 170. And then the Bucks are at third at plus 700. But if I had this correct, I think if the Heat beat Milwaukee on Wednesday, then we might win the division. Is it as simple as that? I forget. I don't really care enough to look into it. Point is, at plus 170, the way the Heat are playing, I think that's pretty good odds right there. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm very curious to hear what y'all think. Make sure you like and subscribe because I'm on the grind to hit 10,000 subs. Damn! See you on the next video. Peace out, everyone.
Look, pull up in your city tryna get that dead face. Do it on my own, I don't need no dead weight. Had to kill him off, yeah, I need a head space. You know this homegrown bitch don't offend me.